Hey, welcome back. It's Kotlin Conversations, where we're having conversations with just some of the amazing people here at KotlinConf 2026. I'm back. I'm Gwen Dao, and I'm very lucky to be speaking with
Yuri Geronimus.
Yuri, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Well, how about we let people know what is it that you do and how did you get started with Kotlin?
I'm a senior staff engineer and chief architect in the EMEA region in Verifone company. Its main business, it's about payments and finance services. And as a senior staff engineer, I respond for most critical complex projects. And as a chief architect, I try to influence the whole PDLC process because of we need to do it faster, we need to do it less risky and less costly.
100%.
And my case is to do it together. Not to choose only two from three.
All three, please.
And Kotlin is one of the tools that we can use to bring all three together, and it's amazing. And my way with Kotlin started from my manager.
Oh yeah?
One time, I will explain it. One time my manager came to me and said, okay, you need to make this solution. Competitors are already started to do this, and there is only 5,000 of pages of specification and only 1,500 of certification tests. And please do it, please develop it with your team, and please pass all certification before your competitors. Before competitors of our company. And we started to think, and we started to make ADRs to bring everything together. So we need to be faster. We need to be very, very with no defects because of certification. And less cost as always. And because of this, and one of our ADRs was about, hey, let's choose a language. And we understood that Kotlin can be a very good option. And we built a business case and proved it and choose the Kotlin. And it is my start. It was late. It was, I believe, only 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, but it is a very, very effective tool for our business targets. And then we beat the competitors, and so
Wonderful.
I will explain it in my talk.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to the party. I know 2 years late, but welcome. And also, I don't think it's ever too late, especially given some of the things that you're going to talk about in your talk. We were chatting before, and as I mentioned, financial services, financial technology, I think, as you've already said, has a lot of extra pressures on because of the fact that you're dealing with payments and people's money. It's important.
I don't want to lose your money. Trust me. And the tools,
we don't want you to either. So, thank you. So there's obviously a lot of extra pressures, and it's not even just like specifications or user complaints. It's literally like kind of legal and compliance and all kind of things. So it's an entire extra layer of pressure. I'm sympathetic because my husband actually also has worked in financial tech for a long time. So I'm the person like, oh, wow, that seems really tough. So obviously, a lot of thought had to go into what you were doing. And almost like, I think, super interesting in what you're talking about, and something that is very dear to my heart is the idea of safety, and not necessarily safety specifically of money in perspective, but safety of like the software itself. And can you talk a little bit about maybe what you're meaning when you say safety in reference to what you're going to talk about?
So my talk will contain 3 parts. First part is about safety application. And I have 15 years of experience in banks and in payment now, and all my time I see the same scenarios with defects and with a long period of development because of words. Because of words, you understand? So we have some explanation in regulation, we have some explanation in our specification, we have some explanation in our code, we have some explanation in compiled code, and gaps between them.
Absolutely.
And bugs, defects live here. And so when we started to make the project, we just thought and how to remove these bugs, how to remove this missing of words. And not only remove, but prevent adding words from software engineers, because software engineers adding words.
Yeah.
No, so it's the first part. And I will share this idea that as idea is very simple. Specification should live in code and compiler should check it. Compiler before CI/CD, just compiler. And I will give 10 patterns, very simple patterns, how to apply it in your project, in any project, not only finance, in any project. So it's the first part. The second part is about migration of legacy, because
of course.
Because you understand, finance is about legacy. It is good because it should be stable. And if you have a system that work already 20 years or 40 years, okay, 20. To be honest, 20 years, 25 years. And it works every second to pass transaction. We need to be very clever about migration. And I will give you framework how to change everything without touch anything. So everything will be on good way. And the third part, because this system should work 20 years more.
Exactly, yeah.
So the question about language, and because language is a part of platform, it's not question about syntax. It's a question about investment case. And we need to understand our investment. We need to understand how to build business case, because it's our responsibility for your money.
And I love the way that you frame it, that really words, right? I mean, literally that code is words, but that the kind of understanding of those and how to apply that. I like the idea very much that it's not just about being reactive and fixing bugs as they come, but how do we prevent cases of bugs, right? Because that's usually the safest ways to not to make the regression in the first place. And a lot of that is kind of relying and leaning on things. And I kind of, we talked a little bit just before we started rolling camera, is that especially, today it's hard to avoid, we're going to talk about it, like generative AI, where, where people are creating code at big scale. It seems to make a lot of sense that with that is also the danger of, like the same risk of bugs, the same risk of those gaps that you mentioned between like the different sections, where people are creating code so fast. It seems to make a lot of sense to be able to rely on safety and being able to rely on what the compiler can do to help prevent some of those things. It makes a lot of sense.
So we tested it, and with GenAI it works, but we don't have calculation, so I cannot tell it as a business case, case study. But what I think it's more important here, so financial is very strange, financial industry. So if I will ask you or everybody in this room, in this conference, what is a transaction, I will get thousands of answers, and almost all of them will be right. And really, because transaction, what is a transaction? And everybody will answer it. And if I say, oh, sorry, I missed something, financial transaction. And everybody will, and they will give you not 1,000, but maybe 100 of answers, and everything will be right. And LLM is the same, and they know about transaction much more than 1,000 or 2,000 people here, and we need to explain them in code what is transaction in our model, in this module. And this approach, because it's a type-defined approach, it explains not only to people but also to LLMs what is this, and brings semantics of our understanding of life directly to LLM. And I believe it's more important. But as I said, we didn't count it yet. So, but general idea, I think it's more important.
No, and I think I love the idea of having specifications live in code, because that makes sense. And then, as you said, it's some place where both human beings and LLMs, AIs, agents can understand it as well. We have to have that understanding in a common place, for sure. For someone like, maybe say you have an engineer just starting out now, and I guess like if you had like a new team member coming on that never had learned Kotlin before, what kind of like are the basics that you would want them to learn, or what is the kind of thinking that you would want them to kind of develop first and foremost? Like, what do you think is most important for someone coming in?
First of all, I will be honest. I don't so think about language or something, I want to work with engineers. So first, what I want from him is to understand engineers' practices. And as we touched now, it's more important now to understand even more scientific, what is ontology, what is semantics, to give it to LLM. Because currently engineering, maybe you know, but management came from engineering. It's came from engineering, and we moved now to be managers of a lot of agents. And so it's more about, so I want to from him more about engineering in general, about ontology, about the words. And Kotlin just supported, and that's all. And it's good to write in Kotlin. Looks like ontology, looks like right, in right words. So
I like that. It's the foundation, it's the way of thinking. It's not necessarily, as you said, the language or the platform, but it's that kind of critical thinking
so
and being able to describe things. Oh, I like it. Has there been any kind of like other surprises, as you've been working on this kind of like different approach? Is there any surprises or things that, I guess, any kind of good things, anything that you unexpectedly got out of kind of changing to this approach?
So the biggest surprise was not about Kotlin, not about application, but about changing people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, software engineers changed. How do they think? And how do they speak? They started to speak in business language. So, and he started to speak in business language. Then they started to speak with sales. Then directly.
Wow.
Then they started to speak with customers. And at the end, what is most impressive for me, as from regulated finance, they started to speak directly with regulators. And they started just simple software engineers, not simple, clever software engineers, but software engineers, not analysts.
Yeah, just an engineer.
Just engineers started to initiate changes in countries' regulations by themselves. Because in code they saw contradictions. And they can initiate this, and because of so it's a completely changed way of mind, and because of this, we removed from process analysts completely, and because of this, we decreased time of from idea from new request to start of software engineering, because there is no analyst between. And economy, little money.
That's amazing, because I feel like so often it doesn't matter. I mean, especially I agree in like a realm like finance, but in general in engineers, it felt like an old story, right? There's a wall. The engineers are off in the corner making the code, and then there's multiple layers of, as you said, analysts, designers, product people in between. And so often it feels like there's a disconnection, because as an engineer, you see certain things in the code, right? You see certain things experienced, but you don't get... You don't feel like you have a voice or communication to, the outside. You just take in requirements, churn out code, and hopefully you can connect what you're doing with the user. I think that's really amazing. And I think that's such a great skill, because I feel like, again, the old story is, I know, just an engineer. We're not, traditionally, no one thinks of us as someone that can communicate at that level. So I love that it changed the thing, because that's a really valuable tool. I think one is often very lucky to be able to have that level of communication, but it sounds like just from changing the approach. I love that.
It was shock for them, but I said, okay, let's go and speak with them.
That's amazing. I would love to hear more about it. And if you want to hear more about it, definitely check out Yuri's talk. Yuri, if people wanted to find you on the internet, how can they do that?
LinkedIn, of course. Yeah, I'm lucky with my surname. It's Geronimus. Yuri Geronimus is very simple to find. And also I write something regarding engineering in Medium, so yurigeronimus.medium.com. And you can find some science articles from me just by name and surname.
Beautiful. So. I can't wait for your talk. I'm super excited. I would love to learn how to communicate on a different level. And also, I'm also very sympathetic to, again, like encoding safety and specifications in the code. I love it so much. Well, thank you so much, Yuri.
Thank you.
And thank you all. We'll see you again real soon. Bye.